Alright, what's going on, y'all? So, in today's video, we are going to be reviewing this week's match that I played in the USPA for Team Pennsylvania. So, I was very excited to get accepted onto Team Pennsylvania for USPA because, we are from Pennsylvania, and they have some pretty good players too for me to practice with and get better with, so I think it's a great opportunity for growth as a player, but also just it's exciting for me, as someone who was born there. And so our opponents this week are the Louisiana team, the Louisiana Purchase, and I was originally supposed to face Hectic, which ended up getting swapped with Vixyn just because of like a little funny name mix-up in USPA, but Vixyn decided that it was fine that we just play each other, and so my opponent this week was Vixyn, and their team looks really rough for mine, honestly. Like, so they have Talonflame, Skelegirge, Gholdengo, Annihilate, Tyranitar, and Houndstone. So we all know historically I just straight up lose to Annihilate like all the time. This Annihilate does not have Final Gambit, which changes things quite a lot. I know quite a few of the Pokemon on my team can survive a Final Gambit, like Farigiraf and Amoonguss, but this Annihilate does not have it, and they also have a weakness policy Tyranitar. So I just thought it would be nicer for us to review these matches instead of for me to post the live recording, because the live recording was a lot of me just being like, oh god, like but without further ado, let's get into this play-by-play. So I start Farigiraf Palafin, he starts T-Tar Gholdengo. In my head, I'm kind of like, okay, this is really bad for me. There's not really a way that I can get out of this by, like, Terra Styling Farigiraf. Like, they can always do enough damage to Farigiraf in order to make this a problem for me. So I was just kind of like, I'm just gonna go for it. Like, why wouldn't I just go for it, I guess? Like, I can't switch. Like, what's switching gonna really help me with? Because I think I have, like, a Amoonguss and Garganacl in the back. So, I also can't target the Tyranitar with my Jet Flip turn because it has weakness policy. So I'm like, okay, Flip turn Gholdengo, click Trick Room, that's fine. Like, T-Tar protects. He tries to Shadow Ball the Farigiraf, which is a mistake for him, unfortunately. We get our Trick Room, we switch out into Amoonguss. Things are looking up. We Spore the T-Tar. We just go for a Hyper Voice because I want special attack boost. Get our special attack boost, he makes it rain. Does a Whopper. Amoonguss takes a crit. T-Tar wakes up, goes for a Protect. We Rage Powder just in case they wake up and do something weird, or they click Shadow Ball again. Which, well, Shadow Ball can't hit Farigiraf, so it made sense in some way, but they do just get a one-hit KO. And then we bring out Garganacl and Palafin. So Jet Punch one-hit KOs the T-Tar because they don't have a Terra Style to stop it. They have a Fire Terra Style. So Fire Terra Style with Fire Punch, Rock Slide, Crunch, and Protect, I think. I don't remember if they said they have Stone Edge. They said they just took this paste off a random paste place. Like VGC paste, probably. Shout out to them. Evan Smoke doing big things. But, okay, so back to what we were saying before my laptop decided to turn off without telling me it was going to turn off. We're really not in a bad position here. And they've got the Houndstone, we're Salt Curing it. They bring out Skelegirge. We do a lot of damage to the Houndstone. We Salt Cure Skelegirge. They go for the Grass Terra style. They Terra Blast Garganacl, which does not do that much because Garganacl is a bulky boy. So at this point, they have two Pokemon left technically, right? They have Gholdengo at 4%, and they have Skelegirge at 77%. We only have two Pokemon left as well, but this is also open team sheet. So in my head, I'm like, what is my opponent doing? They can try to Terra Blast Palafin. The Terra Blast, I don't really know my Skelegirge calcs, but if the Terra Blast were to one-hit KO Palafin and they protect Gholdengo, we're kind of just screwed at that point. So I was like, okay, I ignore Gholdengo, I Jet Punch the Skelegirge, and I Salt Cure Skelegirge. Bad play, because they don't protect Gholdengo. They just get pretty big damage. They go down to their own life orb, but they do target their Garganacl and get that KO with Torch Song, which I think was the correct play, because Jet Punch cannot KO Skelegirge at this point. And they get the Game 1 win. And in my head, I'm just kind of like, okay, like, I lose Game 1 in a game I should have won. That means I'm going to have to play my butt off to win, hopefully win Game 2, and then hope that I win Game 3, because, like, you know, it can be rough sometimes when you lose Game 1, and then you have to win Game 2 and Game 3, like, it's stressful, especially when you feel like your opponent definitely has a really good team against yours. So, yeah, let's get into this Game 2. So we start Kingambit Garganacl as an adjustment because I don't want to get Make It Rained. And I honestly I don't even need Trick Room at this point. It's like, how far is it really going to get me? Like, it'd be nice, I guess, but it's not that great. So, yeah, we start Kingambit Garganacl. And once again, we really don't want to go after the Tyranitar because it has that weakness policy. So I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'm just gonna Caltalk leave the Houndstone and Salt Cure Tyranitar. Like, they fire Terra Style. They try to Will-O-Wisp Houndstone, which does not work. We live the Fire Punch at 31%, and we do one-shot the Houndstone, which is really nice. So I think their play looked kind of bad, but I can understand why they made it. So I think a better play would have been, I think they only have Last Respects, which is like not really going to help them in this case. I think they have like Snarl, Last Respects, Will-O-Wisp, and Protect or something like that, which is a good moveset, but it's not going to help against Kingambit. So what they were probably trying to do, right, is they're trying to nullify my leftovers by Will-O-Wisping, but you can't Will-O-Wisp Garganacl. So there's some things to keep track of. You know, we're in a new game, we have new Pokemon, new abilities. It's fine, like... We Salt Cure the T-Tar, we activate their weakness policy, which I was like, oh great, right. Can't forget that. So they bring out Annihilate, my mortal enemy. I just kind of figured Terra Style the Garg. I mean, that's really all you can do. You try to live a close combat. And because we know Kingambit is so slow compared to Annihilate, we do need to Sucker Punch just in case they go for Kingambit. So we get a kind of lucky Sucker Punch crit there. I think we had enough to deal with it in the back. I don't quite remember. I think we did bring Palafin in the back. So we always had Palafin to kind of deal with the additional leftover damage, but we did call correctly that they were going to to close combat the Garganacl. So we bring out Palafin just because it's like, I mean, I kind of have to bring it out so that I can switch it out. Like, Palafin needs to get Big Boy Palafin in order to do something. So we bring out Palafin. We switch Palafin right out for Garganacl. They close combat Garganacl. We eat the Torch Song really comfortably. We we Salt Cure them because that's all Garganacl knows how to do. And in this position, we're really not looking like amazing. You know, Garganacl can survive another hit, which is nice. But what I'm gonna have to either do is protect this next turn Garganacl and just try to Trick Room, or we just have to recover Garganacl and hope that we get the recover off, right? We protect, yeah. They try to close Wombat, the Garg doesn't work. They got +2 Skelegirge, so even though they have -2 defenses on Annihilate, this Skelegirge is looking scary. They are getting Salt Cured though. We bring out Palafin, which, I mean, it's Palafin, so, you know, like, it's gonna do Palafin things. I don't remember if no, they did actually Terra Style, and I just didn't remember that, so I was like, let's be honest here, like, I need to get rid of this Annihilate. I'd love to get rid of Skelegirge right now, but we need to get rid of this Annihilate, and we know Annihilate can't protect because we have seen their open team sheet. So we Jet Punch the Annihilate, and they Skelegirge protect. They Skelegirge protect. So, you know, we make a good play by Jet Punching Annihilate and recovering, because I was like, I mean, what else am I gonna do? and then we Jet Punch the Crocolar Evolvation Skelegirge. So game 2 goes our way, right? Which is nice. We got a game 3 coming our way. And so in my head, when I looked at their side, we start Kingambit Amoonguss because it's a very it's like a very neutral play that also has the ability to pressure their side very well if they were to start something similar to what they started last time. Like, if they started, let's say, like, Annihilate Tyranitar, I could just Terra Style Kingambit, put something to sleep, probably the Annihilate first just because I don't like it, and, you know, go from there, right? But they start Gholdengo and Talonflame, which in my head, I'm kind of like, okay, I don't really think I can do anything against that. Like, all they really need to do is just click Flare Blitz into Kingambit and make it rain, and I really can't mitigate that damage at all, even by Terra Styling. I think Flying does resist Steel, if I'm correct, so we would maybe live like a Flare Blitz, make it rain with Kingambit, but, you know, we really just had to play very risky and say, like, but are they going to actually attack this turn, or are they gonna Tailwind? So I'm like, okay, once again, there's really no way I'm gonna, like, switch out of this to try to deal with it. I'm just gonna attack. So we see them Tailwind. They Nasty Plot, which is crazy risky. We Kowtow Cleave, we do 40%, and we Spore the Talonflame. So that's actually a very, very good turn 1 for us, based on the damage comparisons between Kowtow Cleave and Sucker Punch. We do have the ability to click Sucker Punch this turn. It'll definitely do more than 40%. And, you know, I just clear smogged the Talonflame slot in case they have Sash. I think they, I don't remember, like, I stopped looking at some point, like, it's like my brain doesn't really think about team sheet type stuff. Like, I looked at it once in the beginning, like, we're fine. We get the Sucker Punch KO. We get the Skelegirge Clear Smog, which doesn't really matter. So they bring out T-Tar. We know their whole team now. We're up one Pokemon. They have a sleeping Talonflame in the back. They have Tyranitar and Skelegirge on the field. You really can't bring out Talonflame if you're them, because then you just have one Pokemon that can attack and a sleeping thing. So we're actually in a really good position here. Like, they do have damage on Amoonguss. Like, they can definitely do damage to Amoonguss. But, I just kind of figured, like, you know, why not just try to put the T-Tar to sleep and just Kowtow Cleave. I don't they did use their Terra Style. Okay, so that's helping us a lot. They Water Terra Styled right away. So they Fire Punch Kingambit and they Torch Song Amoonguss, which, I mean, splitting your damage really doesn't work there for them, unfortunately. Like, if they doubled up Kingambit, that would have been very difficult for me, because it would have forced me to, I guess, bring out Dragapult, because I have Dragapult in the back, and we would have had to just Terra Style Dragapult right away, and go for a, you know, Phantom Force and like a Clear Smog on the Skelegirge in case they like switch out next turn or something. So I think doubling up would have worked for them. And doubling up Amoonguss actually could have been just as scary for me, because, like, well, then they would have had T-Tar and a sleeping Talonflame on the field versus Kingambit, whatever I have in the back, which I don't think would have really helped them much more, because Kingambit, you know, would have been at full health. So they had some rough decisions to make, I think, definitely, and they made a play for sure. But, you know, we Kowtow Cleave, we get them down to 4%, we Spore them, the Sand takes out the Skelegirge. Now they just have a sleeping Tyranitar and a Talonflame on the field. That's also sleeping. And we have all 4 of our Pokemon. So things are looking pretty up in this Game 3. It would take quite a lot to throw. And because we know that the Tyranitar has guaranteed sleep next turn, and it has weakness policy, I'm like, I mean, honestly, I'm gonna just double it up with an Iron Head and a Clear Smog. And that's what I do. So we Iron Head, we do a lot of damage, we set off the weakness policy, we Clear Smog. So goodbye to your boots. We get knocked out by the Sand, which is actually perfect for me right now, because it lets me actually, like, get into a good position, right? Like, I was in a very passive position before that. So now we have Dragapult, Kingambit on the field. They do wake up with T-Tar, but they click Protect, and, you know, at this point, Dragapult just does Dragapult things, right? Like, they don't have Gale Wings anymore, and 1 Dragon Darts is definitely going to KO T-Tar. 2 Dragon Darts is definitely going to KO Talonflame. So, because they protected with T-Tar, they're kind of just at our mercy here. So, they do the Protect. We try to Sucker Punch them. The Dragon Darts KOs Talonflame. So, that's our win. That's our week 2. We didn't get chosen to play week 1, which is fine. You know, you're not gonna play every week, but it was a very, very stressful set, honestly, just because this team was so good against mine, but I felt like we played really well. And sure, there's a few turns that it looked like he kind of made some misplays, but it's also, you know, not only figuring out the meta, but, like, trying to make plays that are going to ping your opponent. Like, there's ways that I could have played differently that would have made his plays better, right? And, you know, we just had to we just had to do what we could. You know, I think in Game 3 we had to make a lot of risky plays in terms of, like, calling that he was going to Tailwind instead of Flare Blitz. Like, that was a massive call. And it worked out pretty heavily. So, GG's to Vixyn. I will link his socials and stuff down below. But I was very happy to be able to get that win for Team USPA. Or Team PA in the USPA. So, hope you guys enjoyed, and peace out. Yeah. Where's my outro? I say that all the time.